Okay, let's call the meeting to order. We are at the 18th of June, 6 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll do a roll call. Kwan Lee is here.
Pat Kelly's here.
John Dominguez is here.
And I believe Al is on by Zoom.
Albert V. Gomez is here on Zoom.
Thank you. All right, please join me with the flag salute. Ready? Begin. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Republic. Thank you. Do we have any public comments this evening? None? All right, so consent calendar, as we agreed in the past, we have a quorum anyway, so any changes to the May 21 minutes or updates? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
I
and
move
file?
we approve May 28th?
Yes, 21st. May
21st. I move we approve the minutes from May 21st.
I second that.
We got a first and a second. Get a vote. Yes for Kwan? Yes. For Brad?
Yes from John.
Yes for Pat?
Yes for Albert.
Okay, that's been approved. Committee business, Patricia Kelly, zone neighborhood, and also the large animal update for us, please.
So the large animal group in La Habra Heights is moving forward rather rapidly now. I've connected, every time I talk to somebody from the city, then I go back, or the community, then I go back to my original 6 members that are all very experienced animal owners and have trailers, and most of them have already been involved in rescues throughout their time in La Habra Heights or in Santa Monica. So I would like to, I have 3 things that tie together. So first off, I would like to say that we were very fortunate to get Bill Klovestad from the El Rodeo organization that he has, 200 acres in Brea, and he heads the Orange County Animal Response Team. There's 250 members from Dana Point up here, all the way up to this area. And they have a training program that is kind of remarkable. And so he asked us to, he invited us to, once we get a little more organized, to come up to his facility and train. And so I'm talked to the members that I know in La Habra Heights, and we all agreed that it's a fabulous opportunity. So number one, we want to have about 20, I want to have about 20 members. I've got 8 right now, but I'm not really pushing membership because it is not a club. This is going to be a very serious group of people. If people are interested, they can be part of it, but we are going to go for certification, which is paramount with the Orange County organization and also with the LA organization. But we're really close to Bill because he's in Brea, so it's easier for us to interface right now with him. But we will also be part of the Los Angeles large animal rescue. What's a large animal rescue going to include? It's going to include livestock. No dogs, no cats, no lizards, no birds, no chickens, but goats, pigs, cattle, horses, okay? Many of the people have their own trailers. We are going to be moving forward on the 20 people because as soon as I get 20 people, then I'm going to apply to California to get the insurance. So then we are under the umbrella of the response, I guess you'd say the emergency protocols that have been long established. Some of the members that had been here back in like 2007, 2012, sent me the information from then. So that was really good because I learned that there is a hierarchy, and large animal rescue is a part of both Orange County, Los Angeles, and California for emergency preparedness. So we would be under the city, the fire department and the sheriff's department, and we will never interfere or work as like cowboys wildly going and helping people. We'll be very organized. So I wrote down that one of the main things is that you would get training, practice, and certification. So the training would be to make sure that people know how to walk their animals, load their animals quickly, safely. They know what is needed in their trailers. If they don't have a trailer, they need to have a buddy who is a neighbor or somebody in the organization who will help them because maybe they have room in their trailer or they've got extra trailers. The practice, once people get certified, we would meet 4 times a year and go through all of the protocols for loading, unloading, learning more techniques, and then before you get certification, you will have practiced, you have proven, you'll have worked with numerous people in the team, the animal rescue team, and you will get it. We'll have T-shirts, and we will have badges, so that there's no way. What if your neighbor is completely prepared, but they're out of town or they're at work, and there's a disaster, which we don't know when that would happen, what it's going to be, how fast things move. So they would have a buddy, and that buddy would check and be able to go to their property and load their animals if they've had permission, and then they would leave their tags and stuff. That's what happened. On the barns, there will always be the vaccinations for all your animals, any special requirements, the identification, the names of the animals, and then also who owns them. There'll be a picture of the person who owns the animals, and then they keep one. We get one when we leave, and so then you can identify the animals and the person when they come to pick it up. We don't want just, what happens if you're over in a high school here, and the day later somebody says, oh, that's my horse. No, that'll never happen. Okay, it'll be organized, certified, and we will know who it is. So there's very specific ways to mark your horses, mark your animals, mark their halters, mark their saddles, and so all that will be part of the training program. There's animal to-go bags that even if people aren't members, we'll have that available so that they can have their own to-go bags to prepare their animals and to prepare their animals to be taken somewhere else. There's going to be numerous staging areas. I've got 4 areas south of La Habra right now that are in Pico Rivera and up in Brea. Actually, maybe I've got 5. But, and I think I need about 15. We don't know where the emergency is coming from. If we had a fire, is it coming north, south, east, west? Can you get your horses over the hill and go over to Shabarm? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Hacienda's closed. What are you going to do? So we're going to have various staging areas. Staging area number 1 is going to be, if needed, at the park, if the park is available, but depending on the kind of emergency, it won't be there. But then people can come. What's a staging area? Staging area is the space you come to get your horses and your livestock loaded and out safely. But we need staging areas in all different places. When I looked at the 48 pages, and another one was 28 pages from 2007 and 2012, there's a protocol. We are listed right under getting out people with disabilities. Then it was large animal rescue. And in that large animal rescue, the paramount areas that were used were the Orange County and the LA County Fairgrounds. Well, those areas don't have a lot of animal spaces anymore. It's just not a high priority. So second to that listed was, this is from California, 12 years, 15 years ago. Then was high schools, schools. Then it was parks. Now, the reason it would be high schools, and I've contacted some, and in another couple of weeks, I will talk to the head of the the joint high school district because they have agricultural programs in each one, and I've checked out their facilities. And so I will get one person to okay that, and we'll go through the paperwork, make sure it's fine. But the difference between a high school and a park is a high school who has an agricultural program with large animals has water, they have places to load and unload trailers and animals, they have food, they have safe fenced areas, and they have a place where people could spend the night with their animals if they needed to. What does a park have? A park has a flat area that's open that you might or might not be able to load or unload your trailers, but it may not have water. It sure don't have food, and it has nowhere to make them safe. So that's what some of the things that we will be looking at. So, number one, we will connect with Bill and his wife, who is from La Habra Heights and worked with the Highland Riders when she was young. We will get training. We will get certified. We will meet 4 times a year after certification. We will have barbecues. It'll be enjoyable. It'll be community-driven, and it will be a part of the La Habra Heights always under first responders, okay? Because the one thing about the animals, which everybody knew but I didn't know, was that animals go first. You do not wait you do not wait to know that, yes, you need to evacuate. You've got your animals already down the hill and out of there the minute there's a chance of a need for an evacuation. You're the first ones out. What could be worse than people having to, I gave you some pictures. These are pictures from Altadena. There's a whole lot of other pictures that were just too gross to send you, but a lot of people were hand walking their animals down the road with incredible smoke and flames all around. We do not want that. Now, that was unavoidable because it was so fast. So we want to be prepared for that. Okay, next. I need to get the assistance of Rafferty and Chief Martin. Chief Martin, I would like you to, as we quickly discussed, I would like you to approach after the 4th of July. We're all busy, everyone's busy, so after the 4th of July, when you have time, Section 8, Section 12, and Section 21 are the sections that were recommended that we need to link with first, and you would be the person to do that. And Rafferty, what I'd like you to do, which I could not do, is interface with the Sheriff's Department because they have an equestrian center not too far from here. It isn't Shabaram. I believe that I could go to Shabaram and connect with those people and with the local equestrian things. But when it's first responders, you guys have all that understanding and I don't. Let's see. Now, see if I can think of anything else. So right now, I've got a form that is going to be asking people that are interested in joining the La Habra Heights Large Animal Rescue Team several things, like what kind of animals do you have? How many do you have? Do you have a trailer? Do you have experience loading and unloading animals? And are you a member of CERT or are you a member of Fire Watch? Fortunately, the original 6 members that have been absolutely essential for me to put this early proposal together are members of Fire Watch, several of them. So that will help us as we try to tie into our connections with first responders and not in any way be a nuisance to the community. Okay, next, I would like to have Rafferty, again, after the 4th of July, I would like to get a confirmation of a space that can be used for emergency supplies. This would be for people. There'll be one in my neighborhood. It hasn't happened because there was some people with illness, so they couldn't put it together. Maybe it'll be at my house, but that's separate. That's a zone 2. But for the rest of the Heights, we don't have anywhere to get supplies. If there's a disaster, we all know, because we have heard it so many times on the news recently, that if there is an earthquake, you need to be independent for 2 weeks. Forget that 48 hours. We are all mature adults. We have been around this a lot. We see El Nino coming, floods. Now we've even had the very sad chemical accident, which could happen to any community. You just need a truck to fall over. You just, get. So what I need is for Rafferty to find a space, and then the next step is to get shelving, and maybe I can get it donated. I don't know. And then some of the supplies, first aid supplies that would be used, we can get donated from people, and I will make a list for that. Everything else should be purchased. It isn't so important that we have a lot of things at first, but that we have established a facility as small as, it doesn't matter how big it is. Then I will ask people in the community, do you have crutches? Do you have a wheelchair? Do you, and like I happen to have, just somebody gave it to me, a ladder, so that if you're stuck in the second floor and you can't get out, this is one of those real easy ladders you put up, so like I would donate that. So in the community, I feel like we have a strong community that will give us a lot of stuff for like Band-Aids, water, and then I was thinking about how should it be managed. The only one that I've seen is my friend from Corona Del Mar was the head of the CERT there, and they had a large trailer that had supplies for 5 CERT teams, and that was where they would meet in an emergency. I don't know who should ultimately be in charge of the supply area that would be in the gym for safety. Not fancy, just a little room. But maybe it should be some CERT members, Fire Watch, people like that who have already communicated with the response teams in La Habra Heights and have an experience there. And then as time goes by, it could evolve to something else. What I don't want, and I am not interested in, is I do not care about the history of La Habra Heights. I want this done in brand new, easy to operate, open, move on. That's my attitude. So, any questions?
So what we're looking for is someone to oversee the supplies, maybe do an annual inspection. I think that's something that the EPC or the CERT
Yes.
could be designated as an annual checklist if we do proceed with all that. And then I think Heights Life is something that we should probably coordinate somehow, get information in there. But couple things, if we can narrow this down, because there's a lot of info, the key components, and put it on Facebook and maybe Guac Talk as an invitation with this form.
Okay.
Would be good to proceed. But again, La Habra residents do not respond quickly because of, we are a community that comes from multiple different backgrounds, and the challenge is, even we've been doing this for the last, 4 or 5 years, even with the Firewise USA, and we're seeing people still have no idea what that is, or asking, how do I do this, how do I do that, rather than getting the information at City Hall with the information. So a couple things we need to do is probably have some flyers that people can pick up, or a new welcome package for new move-in folks that are moving in. Give them a
That's a good
checklist to
idea.
go through. Maybe that's something we can do. So if you can kind of, as for large animals, maybe do a checklist, and then they can pick up information, and that could be a packet that could be included in the Welcome to La Habra Heights welcome package. Any other questions for Patricia?
That's a lot to digest. And I think we need to break it down. I think Facebook is one of the options. And I think if you need help with that, do you have a Facebook account?
Nope.
Okay, so I can help with that, but I would need a short bullet point kind of notes to put on there. But it's got to hit the major points. And yeah, I think the main thing is brevity. Just get to the meat of the matter, and we'll have to keep trying it and do maybe a couple of variations of the same message. Facebook is one. I think definitely you should consider the Heights Life. I think Dan would be very much interested in that. But yeah, but I'm thinking that's quite an elephant we're trying to chew here. So it's going to take a lot of different efforts and patience. And
All I need is 20 people. I'm most interested in the insurance right now. I have the core people. The people said they know most everybody in the Heights that have horses and animals. They wouldn't know everybody that's got like goats and pigs, but they'd know most of them.
Okay.
So that's going to be a word of mouth. The Facebook is a great idea because there's going to be people we don't know. Some people with animals will not come forward. They don't want to know you've got animals, and that's okay, but they won't be members.
I think it's always going to be Facebook and some kind of a printed Heights Life is the main thing.
Okay.
Walk, talk to, and anything that's printed.
Okay.
Because not a lot of people do not use the internet. So we got to hit those folks too. We got to get to them too. So yeah.
Okay.
It's not just one media.
And I would recommend, instead of trying to do everything all at once, let's prioritize and set some timeline that maybe over the next 12 months or 24 months. First is to get the training and practice with the 20 people. Then once you get that going, so maybe put a timeline, because that was a lot of information to absorb and trying to execute within whatever, 3 months or 6 months.
We've already had the offer to train with,
That's awesome.
and he said, why don't you come up in July? And I said, whoa, that's a little too fast. But maybe August or September we can bring our first group. But if I can get 20, so my timeline is get 20 people. While I'm getting 20 people, I'll be contacting the staging areas. I'll be working with my group of 8 people, which will soon be 12 people, then 20 people. That's all I need.
Okay.
Then we can reach out. So insurance, members first, because you have to have the members. Then you get the insurance through California. Other people will be working their connections, and then we will be ready to get our people trained. And then the training will then help lead, because there'll be there should be once you're trained, then you can help train other people. But a lot of people have a great amount of experience with large animals. I don't care. We've already discussed in our group of 7 people, you're going to get credited through Los Angeles or Orange County because we want to be safe.
I think we can probably expand that, because in August is our large animal seminar. So if we can do some bullet points and keep it narrow, I think that you'll give more impact rather than throwing everything at people and saying you need to respond now, but rather as a large animal parent or owner, that these are the steps you need to get through, and these are the things that we want to get done, and let's network and invite people to be a part
Okay,
of the
so
whole program.
me, step 1, membership, insurance. By the month that goes by, connect with the staging areas. Now I can start pulling in the other. Then we get our training. After that group gets their training, then we can move out. So to me, it's not really a big project. It's an enormous change in little bites, and many of the little bites have already been connected. So my timeline would be that by the end of summer, by September, we would be affiliated with Orange County, Los Angeles. We'd have our insurance. If we don't have insurance, we would likely have it. We'll have some of our training done. Then we will be ready for the August meeting. And those people are anxious to act as liaisons. And they go, we want to be there. We want to talk to the people because we've got horses in the Habra Heights. And then I would like to suggest that we invite Bill, because he was charismatic. He has so many cool stories, and his wife's from La Habra Heights, and his facility's right there, and he's offering us training. So I'd like him to be the main person. And then have a booth set up where the people with the different animals, like Crystal's got the llamas, and then we got goats, we got pigs. Some people have cattle. And so we could set those people up separately. Guy speaks. They talk about how they're the members, yada, yada. I'm not even an animal person. I'm a bird person. So I'm just the liaison for now.
So, speaking of large animals, can I just address the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Where are the people who are interested in this in the audience? For them to speak for themselves about what they need and try to relay that information to people who are trying to help, which is you and the EPC and other folks.
I think what he's getting at is to invite the folks to come and be a participant or even partake in this meeting, because We don't have that information. We don't know. I'm not a large animal person, so I don't understand, if we're going to try to make an impact with these folks, they should be part of this audience or at least come to the August seminar.
Oh,
And
no,
that could be the
they
second.
want to speak at the August seminar.
Okay, all right,
They said it, so I will invite them.
please.
Some of them are kind of shy, and so, but, so that's why I'm doing it for them, but it will happen.
Okay, I don't want to kind of keep the meeting moving along.
Okay, one last thing, because I
Yes.
said there were 3 things. Animals, the supply, okay, and then the last one is we need to be thinking about how do we get animals down from not necessarily the top, but the top of Hacienda down the street in an emergency. And we can do it by clearing off the area on the right-hand side and bringing animals that way, because we know we're on an earthquake fault that divides in 2 spots out right here on Hacienda, and there's a little gully. Okay, so anyway, that's my last one.
Yeah, I think on that aspect of evacuation, there's going to be many different aspects, that things that we don't even know is going to happen. So we can visualize it, but if there's other things that are happening, we have to follow the directive of the fire department, always follow.
Whoa, yes.
Okay.
Okay, lastly, on the issue of how do we get the supply thing going, yada, yada. Okay, I'm in charge of the 2nd zone. The park is in my zone. I'll be in charge of it, accept it. My neighbors and I will make it all work out. We'll set it up, no problem. Then, once it's set up, we could open it up to larger community. Okay, done.
Okay, thank you. All right, so moving on to education and outreach. We did complete our 3-year plan for the Firewise USA and was approved. And then we've submitted to the Firewise USA committee for approval. So that is pending, but we need more participation from the community. A lot of folks still do not know what Firewise USA is, but they are still getting that discount. When that discount disappears, I mean, it's going to be an afterthought, but if you're enjoying that discount that you're getting because you're doing a defensible space and you are doing home hardening practices, that's a significant discount. So I would urge the audience out there, we've ordered some more brochures. When they come and pick them up. We have a lot of information. If you do not know, you can go into Firewise USA on the internet and what these communities, the closest one that was just recently assigned was the avocado area or spyglass area of Whittier. And then the city of Laverne took our framework and also got approved. And now more and more cities are now responding because, I don't know if you've heard from the radio this whole month, they are really pushing defensible space and home hardening. 0 to 5, no fuel. So I'll just leave it at that. So as we go forward, if we get this, the 3-year plan should be approved because we're piggyback on our first 3 years and expanding it. So, and we'll coordinate, and if they reach out with anything, then we'll consult with the fire department to make sure that we are in compliance with what they're looking for. But other than that, I would request that more of the community members understand that we are a recognized Firewise USA community as an entire city, not just certain pockets. So in order to be part of that, you have to be part of the solution, not ignorant as to what do I do. So we'll leave it at that. We'll move on to Mr. Romstead. Any updates? None? Mr. Villagomez, any additional information on CERT training updates?
Sure, CERT training. So we, from the last meeting, John, myself, and a couple other of our residents from La Habra Heights participated on May 30th at the Area E Community Emergency Response Refresher, so CERT refresher training. It was in Santa Fe Springs, headquarters for the fire department. So actually a very good setup, and we definitely need to kind of make sure we are aware or aligned with, whatever other training does get set up at that facility. That the classrooms were part of the Rio Hondo Fire Academy. So great setup for, obviously they use it for other purposes, but great setup for what we were doing. The main thing that I got out of that was we were doing some search and rescue exercises and really learning how to partner up and safely go through a potential, hazardous location where the scenario was kind of like an earthquake had just occurred. Some of the furniture was knocked over, and some of the things to be aware of as you're walking through a two-story location. There were some areas we were asked to, again, consider safety, safety for yourself, safety for the others that are kind of in the room, and do your best in doing that search. And then we had a second team that was doing recovery, and we did a debrief, and then just a reminder of how to align with how the professionals deal with marking the location, identifying, the fact that you were entering, searching, and then also looking for and identifying, what you found in there. Again, some hard reminders. We're there to help. What did the fire department say? We're the extension to what they're doing, right? We're additional hands and eyes and ears to their, because they can't be anywhere. So we're working under their guidance and supervision. So it's not like, hey, we're off on our own. We are working as a part of a overall task force with emergency responders in the scene and helping direct us, and we're providing eyes and ears for them, so that if we find someone that needs critical care, we're not there to try and apply the care. We're there to help provide that information back to the overall coordination team, typically the fire department, so they can then bring the appropriate rescue resources, whether that's additional, paramedics or whatever, to kind of help in that situation. So it was great. In that, there was also some reminders around first aid situations, what to not do in those kind of situations. If you find yourself in a critical situation, you don't want to create additional harm to the individuals, but you do want to take note and immediately again flag the appropriate personnel, whether there's additional paramedics or whatever else is going on. And then the last thing was really kind of a refresher of how to handle a fire extinguisher. And I'll just say for me, I've done many of these exercises before. I forgot to pull the pin out of the darn fire extinguisher. I also forgot how heavy these things are, especially if you're slowly creeping up on a potential fire situation and you're kind of hanging on to that thing for well over a minute, and then you have to turn and run the pass protocol to extinguish the fire. So there's a lot of things to remember. It was great to kind of go through that. I'm sure John, when you have a chance, you can add to that comment. But anyway, so that was the May 30th event. Sorry, I'm just really excited about the whole training. It was really good. I really want to bring that kind of a training opportunity back to the community. Some portions of that would be great for us to work on. And so, Chief, I will, definitely we'll have to do some follow up. And it was great, kind of having a chat with some folks at the Music in the Park last evening. We kind of reminded ourselves, we've got some help there, so we'll try and figure out what to do for the city. A reminder as far as some training opportunities that are coming up, and I will try and get a refreshed newsletter out for folks. And coming up on September 18th through the 20th, there is CERT training that's going to happen at the city of La Habra. Again, we just had a CERT training in Whittier. I hear that some folks were able to take advantage of that. That's great. This one is in the city of La Habra. And so it's going to be on September the 18th through the 20th. If you have any questions, you can, I think it's already posted on the LA County Fire website. But if not, you can also contact the City of La Habra for more information. Additionally, we have the National CERT conference that's coming up in August. That is a cost to participate situation. They have updated their their agenda or a session list that now has some training available, and they have that listed. I think the 24th is their pre-conference training day, and so some of them do come for no cost, but I think most of them do have a cost associated. Some of them are ones that I'm going to be trying to get myself enrolled in, and that's setting up a CERT training program in the community, what that's all about, and various steps to get that CERT team activated with the county, with the fire department. So I'll be going through that additional training, and so I can get some additional knowledge in that space. Anyway, there's more information on their website, the www.nationalcert.org, and you just scan in there. They'll point you to the agenda for those following days. Other than that, the other thing I'll just kind of point out is, and thank you, John, for helping with the networking. I think you're much better equipped to handle those kind of things, but we did have an opportunity to network with some folks while we were there, including some of the folks from La Habra Heights that participated. So thank you very much to those folks that were there. We've also were able to hook up with some folks from I think Whittier and La Habra CERT teams, and so we've got some additional names or folks that we are going to network with, so that we ourselves can be more equipped on how to get ourselves better organized, as well as other ideas to kind of bring in some available training. I was able to hook it up with the La Mirada CERT team lead. She is retiring, but she did make herself available to come in and provide some assistance to us. So I'm feeling good. We're making connections. We're networking. We're getting in touch with the other CERT teams who are also trying to rebuild. And we've got some other folks who are willing to kind of bring some different perspectives, ideas, things that we can try as we're organizing. I think the last thing I'll just say, other areas have also expressed the challenge of trying to get residents to sign up for various volunteering opportunities like CERT or Firewatch or other radio commands that they also have, similar to like Firewatch. So it's more of trying to figure out how do they advertise, get the word out. So those are the kind of things that I'm also going to be looking at. I know we've been using Facebook, but we'll have to kind of figure out what other venues we can try to tap into to get the word out of what we're doing and how to get more membership. One thing I did observe last night when I was talking to a couple of folks, when I mentioned joining CERT, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that." For whatever reason, they were kind of saying they're not the right candidate for that. So I was trying to kind of convince them that the CERT doesn't mean, hey, I need you to go in there and rescue somebody or put yourself in danger. So we'll have to kind of put some sort of material. I like the way you put it, John. We have to put some simple bullet points out there so folks understand what CERT's about and what it's not. I want to make sure that folks don't have that impression that you have to be able to do a lot of heavy lifting. There's opportunities to do other stuff. And so we'll figure out how to better communicate to the community. That's it. That's my update.
Any questions? None? All right, we'll move on to technology with Mr. Dominguez.
So the storm drains project is finished to a certain extent. There's 40 grids to La Habra Heights. We'd like to I'd like to get together with the city manager, Rafferty, and figure out how we can work out the wording so we can put out a message on Facebook and others that the information is available for them to check their grid area so they can in detail see what storm drains are around their residences. Some of them are forgotten, some of them are buried, some of them are damaged. And if they see a storm drain location, but they don't see it physically, that would be a good clue for them to look into that. So that's one of the reasons I'm working on this map. It's basically to the point that all the data points have been put in, all the comments from 2 different organizations. Well, one's an organization, the other one's another volunteer who actually 4 or 5 years ago plotted about 400 points. Some of these points were actually missed by the professional company. So altogether, we've got about 600 points to work with in La Habra Heights. And I think it's going to be an asset for anybody that's interested. We have El Nino coming up. And El Nino, or massive storms, has been a problem in the past. Yesterday at the Music in the Park, I had 4 articles. One was from Fox TV, CNN, NOAA, and New York Times. All basically had the same headline: El Nino's coming, be prepared. There was nothing political about it. Everybody had the same message. And because of that, I'm trying to emphasize that I'm trying to finish this map, get it to a point that we can, I can start with Facebook and put it on Facebook for them to look at, or at least get the message across that that information is available for them to work with and find out what's around them before the storm hits. And if at all possible, to get back. I'm always giving out the beautifylhh@gmail.com email to give back to for any information they may have. We'll also use that for volunteering. So yes, that's the main thing. That database is also going to be available at City Hall. Public Works Manager, she's going to have it, and I'm going to be helping her to work the GIS program, the Geographical Information Systems program. It's a monster to work with, but it can be, you can get Excel spreadsheets out of that, so you can reference every point in the city and all the comments for that specific point. So there's a lot of details that's coming up. The main thing is I'm trying to attach this to the upcoming event of El Nino. And El Nino's going to hit, and we want to make sure their storm drains are clear, ready for the flow of water. That is the main thing I'm working on. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I like to actually propose that we all agree on the fact that maybe every 6 months, maybe starting in July or next meeting, that each of us, each EPC member gives a report of what we've done for the last year or last 6 months, what projects we're working on, what projects we have coming up, so we can see what is the function of each person in this group, and how is it that it is helping the community. We do all tend to talk too much. I do too, and we need more results. So yes, I would like to really agree, make whatever I need to do, make some kind of motion or something, so we can have something set that every 6 months we come up here and we say, this is what I've done, this is what I'm working on, this is what I finished or will be finishing, or something. So we can all be on the same page, so the public, if anybody's listening, can understand what this is about, not just talking. That's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you. So prior to the next meeting, I think what we could do is maybe send us, type out an outline, send it to Christina so it could be included in the packet, and so that we have a chance to review it ahead of time. So if there's any question, we can articulate what our, responses would be. Because when we get all this information not in writing, it's hard to retain all this information. So a little better organization by putting in, again, with yours, what did we do, from 2026, January to June, as an individual part of the member, what did we do would be ideal. Yes, you had a question? Pat?
The idea of a reporting just helps clarify and maybe stimulate us to figure out ways to work together better too. What John's doing, what he maybe he needs assistance, and then we can give him some assistance, or that would be good. I don't think that we have to do all the members in one meeting. Maybe we could alternate, like every, if it's 6 months, every single meeting, somebody's going to give a short presentation of what they did. And that means you'll cycle through everyone within the year twice.
It's a great idea. Any other questions? If not, we'll move
Yeah,
on.
this is Albert. Quick comment. So, I like the idea from John to do some sort of a stats report out. I don't know that we need to read through it. It'd be good for all of us to share what we've done for the past, 3 months, 6 months, however we want to set the time frame. Part of that, I think, would also be good to kind of lay out what do we see in the next, 3 months that we want to kind of set out. Similar to what we were just talking about with Patty. And Patty, I totally agree with how you're putting out a timeline of I think I heard by the end of summer, you want to have the team already identified and gone through training, and then hopefully going through insurance. I think it'd be great to kind of at least set those timeframes out there so that we can look at what's coming up. I myself, for cert, am trying to see what is that next thing, the next meeting that we want to kind of put together, and then trying to see if there's something in October we need to pull together. So I can include that as, here are my thoughts of, what we could try and accomplish in the months of September, October. I think as a group, we should be able to kind of align to say, here's a couple things we can try and do together, or help each other pull it off. Anyway, I like the concept, and yeah, if we can have a format, that'd be great for us to provide, similar information or align the information we're gathering. Thanks.
Thank you. So we'll move on to verbal updates, community outreach program. Anything from the city?
Yeah, we'll just work to try to narrow down an exact date that speakers may be available so we can start putting that out for large animals.
And we've already addressed the CERT training, 4th of July public safety preparation. I know we're doing a fireworks watch program, correct? Remember, John?
Yes, we have, I think, 3 potential drivers, not residents who can just drive. That way, the fire watch person with the radio can actually be observing and reporting. Hopefully we get lucky and we'll get 4 or 5 who actually will help us out. So yes, that's pretty much on the way. That's coming. Trying to put that on Facebook to make sure everybody knows and hopefully steps up a little bit.
Thank you. Anything from Fire Chief? Anything you want to add today? None? Okay, and then we've already discussed the large animal evacuation, so I don't need to, we need to rehash that again. Any other public comments that was not on the agenda? If none, it is 7:47 p.m. We'll close the meeting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.